It's not as good as CPAC canceling our boy Young Pharaoh.
Well, you guys know I've brought up Young Pharaoh quite often, so
Hey, Young Pharaoh, man, way to go.
it was no surprise
And your response
to me
was even better.
when this man Emmett hits me in the morning like, hey, your boy Young Pharaoh was on CNN.
On CNN, bro. I was like, what is he doing here?
I couldn't do nothing but laugh,
That
though.
shit was funny as fuck.
Because I had already seen a little bit of the story because I watched it from Pharaoh. You know, he was talking about how CPAC canceled him, but I didn't realize the reach of the media that it was going to, take on. So that was crazy because I think at that point he was responding to Colbert. No, that was the next day. Sorry, I don't want to confuse videos. At that point, he was only responding to smaller media outlets.
Right.
And then you sent me CNN, and I was like, oh, shit, he done hit the big time.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah, like you said, good for Young Pharaoh because that was some crazy stuff. They tried to dog walk him. Like, it was weird. They tried to, if you guys don't know, because some people may not be privy because a lot of liberals and I'm not saying our audience is liberal, but just anybody who's not privy to the CPAC, it's a conservative, what is it? It's similar to like the...
It's some conservative conference.
Conference. It's a conference.
It's CPAC. Here, go ahead, keep talking. I'll look it up. It's
We don't even
conservative
need,
something conference.
It's not that serious. So, but Trump did speak there. He was the keynote. But they invited Young Pharaoh. It's not like he seeked it out. They invited him to come speak. Probably because they like I told Smooth, some of the political things he's been doing. He actually had a movement saying drain the swamp that he took to Washington, D.C., and had a coalition of black and white people out there marching. So he showed that he can bring the people out.
Organize.
He can organize.
Yeah.
He was with Dr. Shiva. So he's connected, with people that are in the infrastructure, which Dr. Shiva doesn't want to be anymore. But someone that has a degree and is accredited. Even though Pharaoh's self-taught, which is, I love that. That's why he's the one I can go to, because he has no agenda. He's self-taught. I mean, so yeah, man, to see Young Pharaoh on CNN, even if for some bullshit like CPAC canceling him at the no cancel committee, the whole thing was no cancel, and then they bring
It was
Pharaoh
about cancel
on
culture in America
to talk about censorship and shit, just to censor him and cancel him.
Yeah.
So this shit was crazy.
It's
how
the
how it
CPAC is
played
the
out.
Conservative Political Action Conference.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an annual political conference attended by conservative activists and elected officials from across the U.S.
Shit, that was beautiful though how it all played out. I
Absolutely.
was just cheesing like Chester the cat.
And cheers
the whole
to you,
time.
Young Pharaoh, for your response to Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel. 'cause
That part too.
They took some shots. Of course, they got to get involved.
Pharaoh, if you guys haven't seen it, go to Young Pharaoh's channel, YouTube, or Otten Nation. He has a few different things he's doing. He has an online university. But the video we're talking about specifically, when he answered Colbert, it was brilliant because he pretty much laid it out in PowerPoint format where you can see the pictures, the proof, everything he's talking about, he gives receipts for. So he breaks down his argument. He's saying, oh, okay, you told me to go back to old Pharaoh and see what he would say. All right. This is what old Pharaoh said, and let me show you why. So, yeah, they messed with the wrong one, brother.
Yeah.
That's why I was laughing the whole time.
Right. Yeah, I thought it was great. I thought it was fantastic. His arguments were valid. They were backed up, and, they called him anti-Semitic. Mm-hmm. So he provided all the evidence from a rabbi's mouth.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm just going off what this rabbi is saying.
Yeah.
I'm not going off my own perception of what I've read in your doctrine.
Right.
This is actually what this rabbi, well-established rabbi.
That was brilliant too.
Who, and then the rabbi is in the video saying, yeah, this is what we do. We don't charge interest to our own people. We, it was just like a lot of things of maneuvering according to the religious doctrine.
Right.
So he called him out on that, and for that they called him anti-Semitic. And I agree with you, and I agree with him that was their agenda the whole time.
Correct.
They knew exactly who he was,
right?
And they wanted to end anybody else going towards his movement that might have been drawn to it.
Correct.
Especially a liberal, because right now most of the people that are drawn to his movement are not liberals. Mm-hmm. They're either are not involved in politics at all, like you and myself, or they lean right.
Yeah, he has a wide range, and he's picked up even more of a wide range, and that may be why they decided now to actually come for him, or not necessarily come for him, because I don't like to talk about things in a negative light, because Pharaoh is very well educated, and he's dealt with people trying to, even within the conscious community.
Metaphorically, brother.
Yeah, but you got to be careful with this word magic shit, you know. So yeah, man, I think young Pharaoh is ready and willing to take it on. He already said he got $50K for anybody who wants to debate him. That's all young Pharaoh wants is a debate. And this conversation is getting interesting, though, because, like you said, he brought on the rabbi. Even though Nick Cannon got dragged and ended up apologizing, he ended up bringing a rabbi onto his platform. So those conversations were being had. So the conversation is continuing. And I know you have your theory where, if you don't mind me expounding on this to the people. Damn, I don't know what word I was trying to use right there with my high ass. But pretty much that they need the black community to be in alignment with or think that the Jewish plight and, their struggle is the same as, ours, and that they're
that they're persecuted,
and
the oppression against the Jews is the same as the blacks, which is laughable.
So this is why when in the last year we've seen Ice Cube, Nick Cannon, Professor Griff again, and these people, and now young Pharaoh, if you say anything out against, and all young Pharaoh's saying is,
it's not even against.
I want to debate.
It's not even against. It's why isn't this up for discussion? I have a question.
Correct.
I have a question about what I've learned about your religious doctrine. There seems to be an air of superiority coming from your religious doctrine, and I want to ask you a question about it. But as soon as you do, you're an anti-Semite.
Correct.
As soon as you do, you can't even say you're a Jew.
Right. You can't even say this industry is dominated by
Jews.
Right.
When it is. Because what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
I would think it was a compliment. If you were like, hey, man, this industry is dominated by the Flores family. I'd be like, that's awesome. And I use my family because I'm not religious, so I don't have anything to attach to like that. But I imagine people that are, do. Like, wow, my religion is an extension of my family.
Kush and Chemtrails, the world's most dangerous podcast.